this is a report that is not put together by the school. We contract this out to a firm in, I think it's Michigan. And what it is they look at past enrollments and how students have gone from certain grade levels. The method is known as cohort survival technique of trying to predict what enrollments will be. And so we asked this firm to put this together, and we do supply them with certain information. I'm not sure if those were at the beginning or the end, but they take the data of actual, they look at, actually try to get information on how many births are in the community, so they can try to predict what the kindergarten enrollment may be. And they have a whole statistical sample and formula that they go through. This was produced in fiscal year 08-09, so we'll have it updated soon. In fact, we might already have it in the office. But this is what was used and is used. This gives you, I think, a good picture, if you look at the bottom, K-12, of where enrollments have been and what the prediction was for this year. You'll notice, if you look at the bottom at K-12, it says 10,116. And then it predicted a 4.81% increase to 10,603. Now, again, depending on, what the kindergarten enrollment may end up looking like, this could change for the budget year that we are looking at. And so, yes.
Would they have been aware of the charter school moving students in and out? Okay.
Yes, what we do, obviously, this is a statistical sample and formula. We look at this and make obvious adjustments. And when we knew that the charter school was not going to be in place, we knew we had other students that were coming to us, and so we took that into account.
But the other dates, like 2003 and 2004, those are still projected? They're not the actuals?
No, 2003 and 4, those are actuals.
These are all
They're
actuals?
actuals up to the point of the projection. So 2003, 4, 245, 25, all those are actuals.
And then starting in 08, that's projected?
And 08, 09, and this report, I believe, was actual also. And then from that, they predicted what this year would be.
If you look at the subtext on 08-09, you'll see the percentages are all 0. So that's the base, that's the year for which they've projected forward from.
Zero zeros are there, is that
Yeah.
true?
Yep.
How's their track record?
I was just going to say that.
How is their track record? I mean, have you been using this company for a while, and do they have a history?
Of their projection versus what it is?
Yes.
The projection versus what it actually ends up being.
Yeah. Well, we have not used this company for a long period of time. This may be like the second report, and then we got a third one, newer report. So I think that we'll have to check on that. I think we again need to find out what point in time these were and try to analyze that. I don't have a number for you as far as what the actual history or how much they did.
We saw the report last year as part of the budget process, and there was a high, a low, and a middle. So it wasn't just one projection, and it went back. Yeah, so the report is available.
This is, you'll notice this is method 3. So when they look at the projections, there's a method 1 and 2 also, and the way they put this together. And I believe we use this as the middle projection. It's not the lowest, it's not the highest. It was right in the middle.
So when you were using the contingency budget formula, you put this estimate in as the expected enrollment?
We based our that on this. Yes, we do.
How does the, specifically I'm looking through the high school, 9 through 12. In 2003-04, we go from approximately 2,500 kids, and then 13-14, we're looking at 3,600. How's our facility handle that? That's a lot of, that's a third, that's...
How does our facilities...
Well, it's 1,200 more kids in a building.
The only thing I could say is that there's a lot of discussion about that specific question. That's not something we can answer right here.
And I wouldn't expect, but
Right.
that's a big
But there's a lot of
population jump.
discussion about all these
And
numbers.
also realize not all high school kids are in this building.
Right.
Understood, but do we have a capacity
But
level
regardless
that the
where they are,
district?
that's a lot more kids,
Right,
and we
I
have to
understand
think, there's a lot of stuff we're
Variables,
looking at.
yeah.
I don't wanna.
It's just you
fix that
see the
conversation.
population jump, and, you know, how, do we have a facility number here that we say, you know, is like a red flag to say, we need to rethink this?
Right, what's the capacity
Structure.
for this building?
All those discussions are going on.
But I mean, right now, what is the capacity of the school?
I don't have the number with me. To my knowledge, it's tight in places, but it's not, it's not beyond the capacity.
So it's at least
We're not
3,000.
running beyond.
It's gotta be
We did put the
at least
3,000
3,000.
new classrooms on to.
3,020.
I noticed there's some kids that are
When,
not.
when we opened school in September on opening day, we delivered roughly 2,550 schedules to students. And we just added 12 classrooms. We lost a few, but there's a net gain in space. So,
Is that including stipends?
no, that was just here.
That's just here.
Is this chart exclusively for budgetary purposes?
We did use that, yes.
What other conclusions have been drawn since we've had this since 08-09, besides, projected budget?
What else are we using it for?
Yeah, what other conclusions? I mean, these are big numbers, coming up.
Yes.
So, what other conclusions have we drawn? What have we prepared for?
Well, and some of that, that we've leased about, we've got a couple buildings that we're leasing because of the enrollment increases. We're talking about always our space needs for the future and trying to analyze and plan accordingly. I mean, these numbers are at least a starting point for our discussions that we have on that.
Would there be an update on this in the coming future? In the near future, sorry? On this chart here? Would there be an
Is there-
update?
Yeah, there is an update. We will have an update.
Okay, you added capacity to this facility here recently. What capacity, what further capacity do you have? How many more classrooms could you add in this site? Do you have those numbers?
In this space here?
Yeah, in this,
I don't have that number.
Is there any,
I don't know what that is.
have you got any idea?
This is just phase one of this construction. There's 2 more phases, right? Phase 2. Right, so
Yeah.
there's going to be a second floor, there's going to be a lot
Part of this
more.
bond act, we have to
Right.
back out.
We can find out for you.
But there is, it's not like, it's not like you don't have the physical capacity to expand.
No, it is expanding, and this
We
was,
certainly can get that
Yeah.
for you.
Okay.
Just one other question. Is this a typical growth of a school district?
Well, I don't think it's typical these days, no. Some school districts, urban school districts are actually declining.
Declining.
And, but we in Schenectady have seen some increases over the years. So I wouldn't say it's typical. no.
Well, I mean, 1,200 kids total between 03, 04 and 08, 09. I mean, that's a significant amount.
Significant.
And that's not all just a charter school either.
No. I know, we've seen it, and that's why we had to go out and lease a couple buildings just to accommodate some of the increases, the short-term leases. So we need to do something permanently at some point.
Do you ever say no? Like, is there ever a ceiling? I mean, you
There's no
just
ceiling,
constantly. I mean, I'm not
they,
saying let's not disregard people with education, but, the city can handle so much, and there's only going to be so many buildings that you can assume or lease,
you're a
or.
public school and you can't
Right,
turn
you
it
have to,
on.
you have to
Right.
serve everyone.
And this
Just
is,
do whatever you can do. I
and
guess.
Schenectady is the only city school